Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for today's Google Partner Certification Refresher for the Video Advertising Exam. My name is Erica and I'm here in Mountain View, California. I'm a part of the AdWords team and I'm really excited to talk you through everything you need to know about video advertising to complete your exam successfully. So let's jump right into the table of contents that we'll be discussing for today. Today we're going to be talking about a few things here, everything you need to know about video, starting off with really an overview of the video advertising landscape. We'll talk about the different ad formats that you have available to you. We'll also talk about how to actually create those campaigns and manage them. And then lastly, we'll talk about performance measurement and optimization to make sure that you're driving long-term success for your video campaigns. Now, along this session, be sure to submit questions through the Q&A app. We'll be answering those questions at the end. And rest assured, if you miss anything, you can revisit the event page and watch the session after the fact. So if you couldn't attend live or if you just want to rewatch it later, you absolutely can do that as well. So let's jump right into an overview of video advertising. So here we are. Let's go ahead and talk about really advertising on YouTube. Every month, more than 1 billion people are watching more than 6 billion hours of YouTube video. So we all know it's a huge platform. It's the second biggest search engine on the internet. And it reaches more 18 to 49-year-olds than any cable network. And I think when we talk about video, a lot of people assume that the place to go is TV. But when you think about the reach that YouTube has, it really is an incredible platform to, get that brand awareness and drive those views, drive those conversions. And then lastly, really interesting, in this mobile era that we're in, over 50% of video views are actually on mobile devices. So mobile is becoming increasingly important in the advertising landscape, and video is no exception to that rule. So that's a little bit about advertising on YouTube as a platform. Let's talk about the benefits of YouTube. So when we talk about, some of the statistics on mobile and the amount of reach that they have more than any cable network, YouTube has an incredible reach. But the platform itself allows you to really connect in a unique and memorable way. YouTube videos are a fantastic way to really show your expertise, show your brand in a very personal light. You can also really reach the audience that you desire. The targeting methods that we have on YouTube allow you to target these audiences in a number of ways, so you can really make sure that the intended audience is seeing your videos. Whereas with television, it can be a bit harder to actually narrow that down to your intended audience. Also with YouTube, you can really learn about your audience. One of the great features of YouTube is that you're getting comments and likes and subscribe options. And with that, you can really see what is driving that engagement. You can get feedback from your users about what they want to see more of, and from that also maybe what they want to see less of and how you can consistently improve your video content. So with that, YouTube gives you a really great opportunity for feedback as well. You can also measure success with built-in metrics. So with YouTube, you'll be able to see a lot of YouTube analytics, as well as when you talk about a video campaign, your AdWords analytics. So you have a lot of data at your disposal. Those metrics can really inform what changes you can make for long-term success. And we'll talk about that a bit later when we talk about performance measurement and optimization. And then also you can really engage with your audience. So with videos, you can really tell them exactly what you want them to do. At the end of a short video, you can say, hey, like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe, watch this video next. So you can really drive engagement on a very personal level with this platform as well. So next, let's talk about TrueView video ads. This is the video ad format that's available to you through AdWords, and there are actually two different formats. So we'll talk about what that actually looks like from a user perspective so that you can build your campaign in the format that you want. So first we have in-stream ads, and you've all probably seen these on YouTube. This is the video that plays before or sometimes even after a YouTube video on YouTube or on the Google Display Network. This video is skippable, so it's up to 30 seconds long, and after 5 seconds, the user has an option to skip. So that's the in-stream format. Now, when we talk about how does that work in terms of payment, you only pay when a viewer either watches the entire in-stream video ad or if they interact with your video. So if they click the call to action overlay, for example. Ads can also appear on YouTube and the Google Display Network in this format. So just something to keep in mind. In terms of in-display ads, these are the ads that appear in YouTube search results on the side of YouTube watch pages. And these show a video that has that kind of yellow box that says ad. And this is a slightly different format in that there's no length requirement, so it doesn't have to be 30 seconds or less. And these ads appear, you can have them appear next to related videos or next to your own videos. And you really pay when a user clicks the ad and begins watching your video. So that's just something to note. You have 2 ad formats at your disposal. So next, let's talk about companion banners. These are clickable thumbnail images that can appear next to TrueView in-stream ads. So they're a companion to your video ad because if you have a video ad about a particular product, then on the right-hand side, you can have a companion banner that really shows that product in a simple image. So it's a very holistic experience from a user perspective, and they can watch your video and then decide to, click on the ad on the side as well. So companion banners are a fantastic supplement to in-stream ads, and they're not guaranteed to show next to every time your video ad appears, but they can direct to either an external URL or your YouTube channel, whichever you prefer, wherever you're really trying to drive the most traffic. So when we talk about reaching potential customers, we have a lot of ways to target on the YouTube platform. We have, of course, keyword targeting. So YouTube is, in its own way, a search engine, so you can target based on keywords that people are searching. You can also target based on demographic, things like age and gender, topics, affinity audiences, custom affinity audiences, which you can create, in-market audiences, which is basically when someone is in market for something. So if I've been making a lot of Google searches and YouTube searches for a particular type of car, then I may be in market for an automobile, and that would put me in an in-market audience. Remarketing, which is a fantastic way to really get a return on investment with your campaign. This allows you to target users who have already engaged with your brand in some way, whether that's visiting your website, visiting your channel page, having watched a video before on your channel page, things like that, as well as placements. So deciding exactly which videos specifically you want your ads to show on. So you have a lot of targeting methods when it comes to video advertising, and you can really pick and choose these methods. It's generally a good idea, a good best practice to try out 3 different targeting methods in 3 different ad groups and really see which drives the best results for you. So next, let's talk about linking to Google+ and the benefits there. When you link your YouTube channel to your Google+ page, it really reinforces the strength and continuity of your brand. Your YouTube channel will receive the name and icon from the connected page. So you can create a very seamless brand identity by linking these. And then a very important feature that a lot of our agencies and advertisers really like by linking is that you can add managers to your Google+ account. So that allows multiple people to access it. So if you have a lot of people who are going to be helping you upload content and things like that, that linking is going to be essential for you to seamlessly create all of your content and post it for your audience. Another tool that you have at your disposal when it comes to video advertising is, of course, the YouTube video editor. And this tool allows you to splice multiple videos and images together. You can edit the clips to custom lengths and insert music from the library of approved tracks, which is really fantastic. You can also customize these videos with special effects. So definitely keep that tool in mind as you are building your video ads and maybe want some extra help putting things together. And next we're really going to talk about campaign creation and management. So how do you create a video campaign and really manage it to success? Like I said, a good best practice is to try out maybe 3 different targeting methods in 3 different ad groups and see how they each perform for you. So we'll talk a little bit about how to create a video campaign and, of course, manage it for success. So first and foremost, you want to be sure that your YouTube and AdWords accounts are linked. This allows you to get full access to YouTube analytics, as well as leverage the benefits of remarketing lists from your AdWords account so that you can remarket to people who have already, say, subscribed to your channel, or remarket to people who have already watched a video. And what's great about these remarketing lists is that you can really tier your bidding accordingly. So let's say that you have a remarketing list for people who have viewed 1 video. You have a remarketing list for people who have subscribed to your channel. The people who have subscribed are probably the people who are more likely to watch a video than someone who's maybe just watched 1. So what you could do is have these separate remarketing lists, have separate campaigns for them, or just separate ad groups, and bid more aggressively for the remarketing list that has a higher level of engagement. So you can really tier that bidding and optimize for which views or clicks are going to lead to the highest potential for you. So that's a little bit about linking to YouTube in analytics. It allows you to unlock a lot of those metrics and as well as use remarketing lists and create call to action overlays to accompany your YouTube videos. And when we talk about creating a TrueView video campaign and video ad, you'll want to create, like I said, you have those 2 formats. So you'll want to create different ad groups for each format. And you can try out different forms of targeting and really see which drives the best results for you. When we talk about remarketing with YouTube, it's such a buzzword. It has a great potential for a high return on investment for you. And some of the benefits when it comes to remarketing with YouTube and AdWords. So after you complete that linking, you create the remarketing list in your AdWords account. When it comes to video advertising, you can not only see that improved return, but you'll also see really efficient pricing. It's a great way to reach back out to those potential customers or those potential subscribers at a very competitive rate. And you have the flexibility of turning things on and off. You have the flexibility of creating different lists based on different actions that users are taking, and you can really tier that bidding accordingly. So definitely take advantage of those benefits. And you can remarket, like I said, based on a number of different factors. So whether someone watched a video, took a particular action, viewed your video ad specifically, or subscribed to your YouTube channel, or just visited the channel watch page. So you can create remarketing lists around all of these different types of actions and then create ad groups or campaigns accordingly and bid aggressively depending on the level of engagement that any particular list of users has at that particular time. So let's talk briefly about the ad approval process. As with text ads or image ads that you would create for search and display, video ads also undergo an approval process. It generally takes about 1 business day, and we'll try to get to those as quickly as possible. So just keep a note of the status column next to your video ad. So in the video campaign in the ads tab, you'll be able to see each video ad that you have, as well as what the status is of that particular video. So definitely something to keep in mind when you're getting started. And note that to create a video ad, you're not actually uploading a video file. You're actually just providing a YouTube link to the YouTube URL that this video is located at. So it's really simple to create a video ad. You're just pasting in the link of where the video can be found. So let's talk a little bit about reserved media placements on YouTube. And these ads are purchased on a reservation basis. So you can pay for them either cost per 1,000 impressions, so that's CPM bidding, or cost per day. And these ads are the ones that you see on either YouTube mobile or YouTube desktop, and they can take over the whole YouTube homepage or just appear non-skippable before a video appears. So the benefits of these reserved media placements are that you have a lot of control. They're very highly visible, especially if you go with the YouTube homepage option. They're implemented by Google's advertising team, so we'll take care of the implementation for you. There is a minimum spend requirement, so if you are interested in reserve buys, you'll want to reach out to your Google sales representative. And a great benefit of it as well is that you get a weekly campaign performance reports with reserve buy as well. So we want to make sure we're being as transparent as possible and providing all of the data and metrics that you would find useful to really optimize for long-term success. So lastly, let's jump into performance measurement and optimization. When you talk about optimizing your video campaign to really meet your cost per view goals, so the amount that you want to pay per view of your video ad, there are a few things that you may want to try. So once you have that initial setup, you maybe are trying a few different types of targeting and a few different ad groups. Once you've let those run and you have a sense of which are performing better, which maybe need help, and maybe some you actually don't want to target anymore, you can start adapting your bids. So really bidding more competitively where it counts, making sure that you're allocating your budget in a way that's getting the best results for you. You can also try expanding your targeting. So if you just start out with one targeting method and it's not working for you, or it's not getting the exact results that you'd like, you can try expanding that targeting into some of our different options. You can also adjust campaign level restrictions. So really take a look at your campaign settings. We'll talk about that in a minute here, and make sure that those are set up for success for you. You can also improve the ads. When we talk about how users are engaging with your channel, sometimes this video ad is the first introduction they have to your brand and your YouTube channel. So if you can make improvements to your video ad and the ad creative itself, that can also help drive engagement. To meet your cost per click-through rate goals, you can include a clear call to action overlay, and this can really help you drive the action, drive those clicks if that's your primary goal. And you can really remove those low-performing inventory or placements. So keep that CTR column in mind if you're looking to meet your CTR goals and adjust based on that. So when we talk about campaign settings, there are a few things that are, some of them are very specific to video campaigns that we want to keep in mind here. First is that ad scheduling. So keeping in mind specific hours of the day or days of the week that you want your ad to show. You can also specify how often your ads are delivered. You can set frequency caps, which I think can be particularly important for video campaigns because video is such a rich medium and they're getting audio, they're getting the visual. You can really determine that, well, maybe I only want someone to see my ad twice at the most. So definitely keep in mind frequency caps when we talk about using that budget as efficiently as possible. Also, you can choose the language of the sites and videos of where your ads are appearing. So keep the language factor in mind, depending on what kind of languages you're interested in targeting. And then let's talk through some optimization strategies and best practices for video content on YouTube. So the best practices for the actual video content that you're creating, you want to make sure that it's original and that it's entertaining and engaging and that it's educating your audience. You want to make sure that they have an incentive to keep watching. You can also use your expertise to really engage the community. You can ask them for their advice, ask them for their experiences, ask them for what they'd like to see more of. When a user feels like you're reaching out proactively to get more content ideas from them or to get feedback from them, they may be more likely to engage. So keep those call to actions in mind at the end of your videos. You can also really make sure that you have concise messages that can be delivered in 2 minutes or less. Video length is something that is directly tied to engagement. So really be mindful of how long your videos are, where you're placing your brand, where you're placing your call to actions to make sure that you're getting the most engagement possible. Something to note for that is that you want to make sure that your brand is at the very beginning of the video, because if you don't reveal until the very end of the video what the brand is, then any users who maybe only see the first 5 seconds probably won't have very much brand impact. But if the first thing you show is your brand or introduce the product and then start the video, you can actually get some of those free views essentially because the user skips the ad but still was able to see your brand at the very, very beginning. So keep that in mind when you think about producing video content. You can also make sure that you update your content regularly. If you are driving engagement, if users are seeing your ads and clicking and they're subscribing and going to your YouTube channel, you want to make sure that you're updating that content regularly for them to make sure they don't drop off in terms of their level of engagement. Also, when it comes to video ads, be sure to read your user comments for new ideas. Get their feedback, hear what they maybe want to see more of, and you can create videos specifically tailored to that and improve the quality over time. So definitely leverage the fact that YouTube is a community and you can really leverage some of those user comments to improve your content in the long run. So I'm glad that we could talk about some of those optimization strategies and best practices. Let's talk a little bit more about measurement, which is very, very important in the advertising world here. There are a number of ways that you can track customer interactions. So we have the display ad mouse over, which essentially is tracking if a user hovers over the display ad for 1 second or more. Display ad interactions, so some ad formats have the ability to track other types of interactions over a display ad. We also have the video play quartiles, and this is particularly important when we think about really optimizing your video content itself. You can see the percentage of people who watch the video up to a certain percentage. So if you notice that at a particular quartile, that's where your viewership is really dropping off, then you can assess either what's happening in the video at that given time, maybe it's not as engaging, or maybe just the general length of the video is too long and that you're kind of figuring out exactly what the level of engagement can be for a given time. So definitely use those play quartiles to your advantage to improve your video content and gauge how your customers are interacting and where you can maybe optimize in terms of length or in terms of the amount of content that you have. Also in the statistics table, keep in mind that these are very customizable and you have certain performance metrics that are only for video. So things like view rate. So keep those in mind when you are looking at your statistics table in the AdWords side of things. Now, when we talk about measuring brand awareness, really we want to put an emphasis on displaying as many ads as possible within a target audience. So some of the indicators that you'll want to pay particular attention to when we talk about brand awareness are impressions, customer engagement, reach, and frequency. One of the really exciting metrics that we have for video campaigns is earned views, earned impressions, and things like that. And those relate to the number of impressions and views that you've earned as a direct result of your ad. So if I'm a user and I watch a video ad and then I proceed to go to your channel and watch another ad and subscribe, those would be some of those earned actions. And so we are able to track those in the AdWords interface. So definitely keep those columns in your statistics table so that you can see not only the impact of how many people are seeing your ad, but some of the actions that they're taking after your ad, that your ads are earning those actions on your YouTube channel as well. So to create some effective video ads, we've covered a lot of these already, but be sure that you're directing traffic to your YouTube channel or your website with additional content. So you want to make sure that you're providing a value add when those users do decide to click and either go to your channel or over to your website. You want to make sure that you're creating really relevant landing pages tagged with remarketing codes so that you can, again, create those remarketing lists, bring things full circle, and loop back those customers who you think have a potential for higher engagement. Also, we want to make sure that we're using a clear call to action. Don't just assume that a user will subscribe or knows to subscribe. Let them know, if you liked this video, be sure to like it. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Those friendly reminders can make a really big difference when we talk about the level of engagement. Also, be sure to potentially avoid keyword targeting, which may limit the ad frequency. If you're only targeting based on keywords, one user isn't necessarily going to make the same search again. So keep that, if you're using that targeting method, try to use it in combination with other methods in different ad groups, just to make sure you're not limiting your reach too much. You also want to make sure that you're really captivating and engaging your audience. So keeping videos short and to the point, delivering the most important message or the brand at the very, very beginning as early as possible, being clear about what your business offers, and providing transparent next steps. So again, be clear with your call to action. Have a concise video ad, let them know they should like, subscribe, and perhaps watch another video on your channel. Here's an example of a TrueView in-display ad that's particularly successful because it's engaging and you can really create video content that builds relationships with YouTube users. So here we have a movie trailer, for example, with this display ad that was displayed on YouTube. And it's really interactive. It's for a movie, and you can click each poster to see more about a character. So this is an idea of a fantastic ad that you could create to really drive that engagement. So let's talk a little bit about YouTube Analytics basics. With YouTube, you have a number of analytics at your disposal, a lot of different metrics that allow you to really monitor your channel and specific video reports. So you can see things like traffic sources, demographics, watch time, location, lots of different metrics at your disposal, and you can view them in a number of ways with line charts, pie charts, bar graphs. So it's very, very easy to read. You can click around to see what data really matters to you. You can also schedule reports. So if you'd like to see a weekly report capturing perhaps the geographic report and the demographic report, for example, you can schedule those to be created on a given day of the week and sent out to you automatically. So keep that in mind as well when we talk about long-term monitoring your success. When we talk about video ad performance, you'll want to measure a number of kind of categories of metrics. The first being, of course, core performance with regards to views, click performance if you're looking to drive CTR, engagement performance, so really looking at things like earned views and how they're engaging with your audience, reach and frequency, video viewership, as well as YouTube engagement. So keep these different key metrics in mind when you think about what is success. Defining success for a campaign is really important early on in the process so that you have something to measure up against as you're continually optimizing. With TrueView campaigns, you also have a number of robust reporting features. So you have advanced filtering options. You can create filters for different types of data that you want to see. You can, of course, segment the data. So you can segment the data based on device type, for example, if you're really intrigued about the mobile world and want to make sure you're optimizing for that. So you can segment based on a number of different factors. You can also use automated reporting, look at your change history to note when you're making changes and how those changes are affecting performance. And of course, modifying columns to track things like views, the audience type, really measure those branding metrics as well as conversions. So keep these things in mind, these robust reporting features, as we talk about monitoring your video campaigns. Now, lastly, we want to talk about some of these exam logistics for you taking the video exam. The exam is 90 minutes in length. There are 85 questions for you to answer. You need an 80% or higher to pass, and the certification is valid for 12 months. So if you have any questions about preparing for the exam, do be sure to visit our Help Center. We have some great YouTube videos online as well about video advertising, as well as everything AdWords related to help you prepare. There's always a video study guide as well to really gain an overview of the important information for the exam in addition to today's refresher session. And remember, in order to become certified, you must pass the fundamentals exam and one other exam. So if you're choosing for video to be your other exam, do be sure that you also take the AdWords fundamentals exam. So that's a little bit about video advertising, covering a lot of the things you need to know to kind of refresh for that exam if you're planning on taking it soon. Keep these details in mind about the exam. And last but not least, I want to make sure that we answer any questions coming in through the Q&A app if any of you have had a chance to post them. So we'll go ahead and check the Q&A app now just to make sure that we are answering any questions that are coming in. All right, and it looks like we have a question coming in from Kathleen, and she's wondering, how do I create a video campaign if I'm using lots of different targeting methods? I'm not sure which is the best for my particular business. It's a great question, Kathleen. So when we talk about testing different targeting methods, I would recommend starting out with one ad group or even separate campaigns for the different types of targeting methods that you want to try. So for example, you could try a keyword list, and that's getting a little bit specific because you're indicating what people are searching for on YouTube. I also recommend starting off with placements, especially if you have an idea of what other videos on YouTube your audience is watching. That can be a great way to make sure that you are engaging with an audience that's viewing very, very relevant content. If you're selling a product specifically, especially if it's a product that sometimes requires a longer buying funnel, so something that requires a bit more thought, a bit more research, YouTube is such an interactive platform where people are really looking at, if you're looking for a car, for example, a lot of people are going to be looking at videos about the car and things like that. So keep in mind that you could also target specific placements as well as those in-market audiences if that kind of fits your brand. So think about all of these different targeting methods and try them out. Generally, video advertising, in my experience, tends to be less expensive per view than a lot of search campaigns per click. So keep in mind that you have probably a bit more wiggle room in terms of using those bids and budgeting effectively to really figure out what targeting method will work best for you. So great question, Kathleen. I'm glad that we could answer that. It looks like that's all the questions for today. But if you do have additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our team on social media, on the AdWords community, or on our very own YouTube channel. We have a lot of video content there to help you prepare for all of these exams. So best of luck with your exam. Thank you so much for attending today's refresher lesson for video advertising. And we hope to see you soon. Good luck with the exam.